Welcome to The Explainer. Okay, so have you ever wanted to make a completely tangible, immediate difference in people's lives through healthcare? But, maybe you're looking for a path that doesn't involve that absolutely grueling, decade-long journey of becoming a traditional medical doctor? Well, if you're fascinated by science, if you really enjoy working with people, and you want a focused, incredibly rewarding career in the allied health sciences, you are exactly in the right place. Today, we're mapping out the complete guide to becoming an optometrist.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today. First, understanding the optometrist role. Then, the ideal personality traits. We'll follow that up with your educational pathway, funding your optometry education, and finally, we'll wrap up with career path and income.
All right, kicking things off with Section 1, Understanding the Optometrist's Role. I want you to ask yourself this directly. What exactly does an optometrist do? I mean, when you walk into an eye clinic, who are you actually seeing? And what are their specific responsibilities? Let's clear up any misconceptions right out of the gate. So, an optometrist is a highly specialized healthcare professional. Your absolute core focus would be examining eyes for vision problems and other structural issues. You're the one providing those crucial prescriptions for glasses and lenses, and yes, you can even prescribe medications for certain eye-related issues. But here is the absolutely critical distinction, just to manage expectations. Optometrists are not medical doctors, so if you encounter a patient with a serious condition requiring surgery or some advanced medical intervention, your job is to refer them to an ophthalmologist. Basically, you are the vital first line of defense in eye care.
Just picture this clinical setting for a second. You're working one-on-one with a patient, utilizing all this specialized diagnostic machinery. If you can actually picture yourself in this calm, focused, and highly interactive environment, solving problems and literally instantly improving someone's quality of life just by correcting their vision, then this pathway is 100% worth exploring further.
Moving right along to Section 2, the ideal personality traits.
So the crucial point is that succeeding as an optometrist goes way beyond just passing your science exams. First off, you absolutely must be comfortable communicating with others. You're going to be interacting with anxious patients all day long, explaining really complex vision issues in simple terms. Second, you got to pay strict attention to details while working. A minor error in a lens prescription, yeah, that can cause massive headaches, literally, for your patient. And third, you need to be good with gadgets. Modern eye care relies heavily on advanced tech equipment. If communication, being detail-oriented, and tech savviness sound like your kind of thing, you've got the perfect foundation.
All right, let's jump into Section 3, your educational pathway. Now, the educational pipeline here is very linear and highly structured. Step 1 happens in high school. You need to complete your 10+2 education, specifically in the science stream, focusing heavily on physics, chemistry, and biology. Then Step 2 is your core qualification. That's a bachelor's degree, which usually takes the form of a B.Optom or a BSc in optometry. Oh, and a quick tip. Remember to always check the specific duration of the course during enrollment, because it can definitely vary slightly from place to place. And finally, Step 3, which is optional but super great for specialization, is completing a master's degree, like an MSc or M.Optom in that exact same field.
And this brilliantly illustrates that you have a really wide variety of institutional options for your studies. The course is typically offered by the Department of Optometry, and you can aim for prestigious government institutes, places like AIMS in New Delhi or the Government Medical College in Chandigarh. If you prefer the private sector, well-known institutions like Amity University, Chidkara University, or the Manipal College of Health Professions offer really robust programs. Just remember to check if private institutes are affiliated and accredited with the UGC and OCI before actually applying. And incredibly, there's even a distance learning option through IGNO. So the doors to this education are quite literally wide open across the entire country.
Which brings us to Section 4, funding your optometry education. Let's talk numbers for a second. The approximate course fee ranges between 12,000 and 24,000 rupees for the full course. Keep in mind, obviously, these figures are estimated and they'll naturally vary depending on whether you go with a government or a private institute. But to put that into perspective, when you compare it to the immense cost of traditional medical school, this really highlights a highly financially accessible pathway into a deeply respected healthcare profession. And even better, you do not have to shoulder this cost all by yourself. The support systems available to you are extensive. On the scholarship front, you can hit up the National Scholarship Portal at scholarships.gov.in for central government, UGC, and state schemes. Plus, a ton of institutes offer their own merit-based scholarships. If you need a loan, well, the Vidya Lakshmi portal, which was developed under the guidance of the Ministry of Finance and Ministry of Education, is a dedicated hub just for students. On top of that, specific states like West Bengal, Odisha, and Bihar actually offers student credit cards with super low interest rates. And for sure, traditional bank education loans are widely available too. The main takeaway here, financial hurdles can absolutely be overcome.
All right, the final stretch. Section 5, Career Path and Income.
So once you graduate, you have a really distinct choice between employment and entrepreneurship. If you prefer the employment route, you can work in dedicated eye hospitals, clinical settings, or even retail glasses and lens stores. That offers some great stability. But on the flip side, optometrists have this fantastic opportunity to embrace entrepreneurship and set up their very own private practices. Also, what's deeply encouraging to note here is that specific opportunities exist in this field for the differently abled, making it a wonderfully inclusive career choice for everyone.
We do need to be totally realistic about the commitment, though. The work environment? It's rigorous. If you work in a clinic, you can expect to be on the job 6 to 7 days a week for 8 to 9 hours per day. Healthcare doesn't really stop on the weekends, right? Now, depending on the setting, shift systems might be available, which can kind of offer a bit more flexibility, but make no mistake, you are stepping into a demanding, full-time commitment to patient care. Let's move on and see how this builds over time. Your expected growth path is highly structured. Phase 1, you'll typically start out as a junior optometrist, really mastering the practical, day-to-day application of your degree. Then, with some experience, you transition into Phase 2, a full optometrist role, taking on more responsibility and way more complex cases. And eventually, Phase 3, you can scale that ladder to become a senior optometrist, where you might literally be overseeing entire clinics, mentoring juniors, or managing a massive practice.
Grounding this in financial reality, the approximate starting salary of an optometrist ranges between 12,167 and 52,000 rupees per month. Again, these figures are indicative, and they are absolutely subject to change based on your location, your institute's reputation, and whether you're working in the private or public sector. But it does provide a really solid baseline for you to start building your independent life.
Now, when you combine that top-tier education, the engaging clinical environment, and that highly structured growth path we just talked about, you can reach some truly incredible heights. Let's look at a real-world example of just how far this career can actually take you. Consider the totally incredible achievements of Jamil H. Rizwana. She isn't just an optometrist. She's the president of the Optometric Association of Tamil Nonbargal. She's a fellow of the American Academy of Optometry. She didn't just stop at a bachelor's. No way. She went on to complete her MPhil and PhD in optometry. And most impressively, she became the very first Indian to be awarded the prestigious fellowship from the College of Optometrists in Vision Development in the USA. Today, she heads up the Rivoli Vision Academy. I mean, this just goes to show you that there is absolutely zero ceiling to what you can achieve in this field if you have the drive and the passion for it. Which leaves us with one final thought to ponder today. We've seen the educational steps, we've broken down the financials, and we've looked at the incredible sky-high heights you can reach. The need for clear vision? It is never going away, and neither will the need for dedicated professionals who provide it. So ask yourself, are you ready to step into the clinic and help bring the world into focus? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I will catch you in the next one.